Today, we're going to look at Chapter 1. There's a quote at the beginning of each chapter. This one's by Eleanor Roosevelt. "You must do the thing you think you cannot do." Welcome to Missions and Madness. Missions and Madness is a cooperative outdoor adventure game that's part scavenger hunt, part role-playing game, and part boot camp. It is easily modified to suit any level of fitness, ability, and comfort. It can be played almost anywhere. It is an entirely screen-free activity. It teaches effective leadership, supportive teamwork, precise situational awareness, strategic response, and practical fitness. It offers serious training in a fun format. Missions and Madness is adventure in real life. Section A, this field manual. This field manual contains all the information you need to authoritatively organize, administer, and play games of Missions and Madness. It is the culmination of years of development through innumerable experimental games, expert feedback, and diligent craft. This manual serves multiple purposes. First, it guides the preparation and setup of the game. Second, it teaches you how to play the game. Third, it provides answers to questions that only arise when you and your team are actually in the field playing the game. This field manual is meant to be used as a reference before, during, and after every game of Missions and Madness. The game is a complex endeavor at first and remains nuanced even for advanced players. This manual will answer all your questions, whether you are just starting out or in the middle of your 100th session. So we mentioned in the book that it's a result of, years of experimental games, practice games, and that's true. Everything that's in this book came up during games. So as we played with different groups and different individuals would have a different take on the procedure and on the rules and how to get around the rules and how to push the procedures. And I try to address all of that in the book. Which, as our games, as our teams expand, there will be more of that feedback, and we'll come up with new editions of the book. But for now, this book is the culmination of the inspiration, many games, and the, let's say, ingenuity of people who push the boundaries. Because following the rules is very important to the game. That's the definition of a game, right? Is an activity that has a set of rules that you play within. And the reason for most rules, or the reason for rules in most games is to, let's say, confine competition. So in Monopoly, you don't just steal from the bank because that's against the rules and that would ruin the game. In this, we follow rules in order to make things sometimes a little bit harder, to make challenging demands from the participants so that those skills are expanded. This is non-competitive, so you're just competing with yourself. Okay, let's get into section B, a typical game. This might be your very first game ever. This might be a game with a new group, or it might be a game with a new area of operations. As an introduction to what you might expect during a level 1 game of Missions and Madness, below is a narrative that describes a hypothetical game. In reality, there is no typical game of Missions and Madness, since there are over 20,000 permutations of the variables possible. It's true. If you take all the variables, you'll never play the same game twice. Even in the same area of operations with the same people. All right. A typical game. Subsection 1, Saturday morning downtown. Imagine that a group of 4 to 10 of your friends gathers at a local public park, the start point, on Saturday morning. Once everyone arrives, you thank them for coming, give a brief explanation of the game, and lead a short warm-up routine. As organizer, you assume the role of the game's first team leader. So, everyone gets a chance to be the team leader, but you're going to be the first one since you know the most about it. And you select one friend as your assistant team leader, and another as timekeeper. You roll the 12-sided die for the team's operative scenario, which will be effective throughout today's game. So we never roll for that again. So let's say we get a 4, comes up, and you refer to the mission assignment, chapter 6 in the field manual, or the green section of your optional campaign command guide. Okay, let's get that out. Let's have a look at that. You can either refer to this book, or if you get the command guide, refer to the green section, mission assignment, operative scenario. So this is always the 12-sided die. You roll, and you get, in this example, we get number 4. The team is moving through the area of operation pursued by ninjas. At contact, strategic response is to find concealment. You gotta hide. If any team member is visible from ATL, assistant team leader's fixed position at 10 seconds, team strategic penalty is 5 mountain climbers. So if the ATL spots you after 10 seconds, then the whole team does mountain climbers. You and your team will be pretending that ninjas are after you. That means whenever the assistant team leader calls contact, the rest of the team will quickly find a hiding place. It can be individual hiding places, it doesn't have to be everyone together. Next, you roll for your team's first objective. A 14 comes up. You consult your list of objectives or the yellow pages in your campaign command guide to learn that your team will be heading to the front lawn of City Hall. This is the yellow section. I've filled this out with 12 different locations around town. So you roll the die, find out where you're going. You can have 20, you can have 12, you can have 8, you can have 6, or 4. The included set of dice includes those numbers. So if you only have 4 locations, you can use that. You confer with your team and all agree that it will take 8 minutes to reach City Hall, walking along the most direct route. This time hack, the 8 minutes, and the route are locked in and cannot be changed from this point on. So, team leader consults with the rest of the team. We all decide and agree that it's going to take 8 minutes to walk from wherever the start point is to City Hall in this example. And we're going to go down this way, we're going to turn right here, we turn left there. Now you roll 2 more times, once for madness and once for a multiplier. You get a 7 for madness, which is 10 squats that you and your team will perform once you arrive at City Hall. So you're going to go through this exercise. You're going to arrive at City Hall. Before you stop the clock, you're going to do, what was it? 10 squats. Everyone does 10 squats. That's part of your time hack. And you didn't know that, intentionally you didn't know that before you rolled. Next, you roll a 9 for multiplier. Referring to Chapter 9 in this manual, or the blue section of the command guide, you find that you will be walking to your objective with one of your teammates blindfolded. Again, you didn't know that until you rolled. So you go to the blue section, there's your madness and your multipliers. Now you have somebody who's blindfolded. You can't change your time hack. A team member volunteers to be blindfolded, and 2 others step up to be guides to keep that blindfolded teammate safe. You must do that. You've got to keep your blindfolded teammate safe. Right before the team commences the movement, everyone takes a few moments to observe their surroundings. This is crucial too. It's easy to forget. Your whole team looks around, and they're looking for interesting features. They're looking for numbers of things. They're looking for landmarks. They're looking for subtleties in the environment. Which directions are the streets going? There's a red car right there. What's the address to the clearest building? What's the business of the nearest building? And the leader and team leader are also looking around, but for a different purpose. You and your assistant team leader formulate one question each to ask once the team reaches City Hall. So this is our keep in mind, or KIM component, our situational awareness. You, as team leader, and your assistant team leader formulate 2 questions, and you can confer so you don't overlap, about the environment that we're in right now, which is the start point. Say there are 2 garbage cans nearby. So you are going to ask your team, how many garbage cans were there nearby the start point? Not now, though, when you get to City Hall. That way, it encourages observation and retention. The questions, known as keep in mind or KIM questions, can be regarding anything perceivable from your current position. Observations can be based on sights, sounds, or any other senses. Sounds are really, they're really great KIM questions. We played one game where at one objective you could hear frogs in a pond, and that became the question at the next objective, and nobody perceived that sound, even though it was very apparent. It's a good lesson. If the team makes clear observations and commits them to memory, they will be able to answer the KIM questions correctly. And that means saving them from more penalties, exercises. Upon your command as team leader, the team moves out toward the first objective, City Hall, and the timekeeper starts the stopwatch. A few moments in, the assistant team leader calls out, "Contact!" Everyone else, including the blindfolded person with assistance, finds a hiding place. This is where we really have to step up, and we really have to help that blindfolded person. After a count of 10, the assistant team leader scans the area from her current position, satisfied that everyone is adequately concealed. She calls out, "Clear." So what that means is the assistant team leader, when it's safe, calls out, "Contact!" And the rest of the team, including the team leader, has to find a hiding place. Those who are tending to the blindfolded person, they have to help that person find a hiding place. If the team is too spread out and somebody doesn't hear that contact, that's going to have consequences. As soon as the assistant team leader calls out contact, they close their eyes, they count to 10. 1, 2, 3, so it gives the rest of the team 10 seconds to hide. Open your eyes, look around, It's not hide and seek in the sense that you go out and, pursue them and look around. You're just standing at that position and you look around. Okay, I don't see anybody. Clear. Everybody comes out, you proceed. Crucially, the timekeeper does not stop the clock during this activity. That is incorporated into the time hack. The team regroups and continues toward the objective. After a few more encounters, quote unquote, with ninjas, and a couple of swap outs for the blindfolded teammate, so you might get tired of being blindfolded. That's okay. Swap out with somebody. The team arrives at the objective. Immediately, everyone performs 10 push-ups and 10 squats. So when you arrive at every single objective, there are 10 push-ups. They don't have to be regulation push-ups. They can be up against a wall, up against a tree, against a building. Those are standard. Absolutely every time you land at an objective, you do that. The madness, which in this case are the squats, you've got to do those too. And those can be to your ability as well. The timekeeper stops the stopwatch when everyone has completed their exercises. So the time is still going while everybody's doing their push-ups and their squats in this case. The movement was accomplished 2 full minutes under the team's estimation. So I think we said 8 minutes. They came in at 6. That's good, right? Those 2 minutes translate into a penalty of 4 burpees for the entire team. So coming in too soon can have consequences just as much as coming in late. We want to, as much as possible, hit that time hack precisely. Now, during a movement, we're not looking at the stopwatch and trying to using that information to hit our target. We are estimating time, sensing that the elapsed time as we move. Why is it 4 burpees? For each minute over or under, it's 2 burpees. In this case, it was 2 minutes under, so that's 4 burpees for the entire group. If they were 2 minutes late, it would be 4 burpees as well. Where does this 4 burpee penalty come from? It came from not hitting the time hack precisely. They got there 2 minutes too early. So there's a penalty of 2 burpees per minute that's off the target time hack. If they were 2 minutes late, it would also be 4 burpees. There is one more step which may save you and your team from those burpees. You, as team leader, and your assistant team leader, ask the rest of the team the 2 Kim questions that you each formulated at the start point. So remember, back at the start point, team leader and ATL formulated 2 questions. After due consideration, the team offers answers to your questions, and both are correct, thus eliminating the burpee penalty entirely. Observational skills definitely pay off. So, each question is worth half of the burpees. So we have 4 burpees on the line when they arrive early, right? 2 for each minute. Team leader asks a question. How many garbage cans were there around the start point? The team gets together and they're like, oh, geez, I saw 1, I saw 3. Which one, how should we answer? They have to come to an agreement and they present the answer. It was 2. Team leader, that's correct. All right. So that cuts burpees in half. Now they have to do 2 burpees. But there's one more question. ATL asks the next question. What is it? What's the address of the library? 123 Birch Street. The team gets together. Oh, geez, what was it? It's on Birch Street. It was 456, or I think it was 123. Somebody, some particular very observant person happened to notice the address. They tell it to the team agrees, 123 Birch Street. Yes, is correct. No burpees for that session, for that movement. At this point, the assistant team leader is promoted to team leader, so ATL moves up, and a new assistant team leader and timekeeper are selected. The game continues until it's time to head back to the start point, or the park, at the end of the session. It goes on from there. So ATL moves up, they're promoted to team leader, they roll for the next objective, they roll for madness, they roll for multiplier, and we keep on moving through the set of objectives and the area of operations by doing that. If you get the kit, has a place for the area of operations, has these summarized procedures, has some start point reminders, has a cool flow chart, your list of madness and multipliers, and your mission assignments. And a reminder about the ATL's contact prerogative, when and how to call contact, and what the penalties are if they're not observed or performed correctly. So that's it for today. This is a screen-free activity. What that means is it's not an app. You use paper maps. You use, we've had sessions where players have had to use a compass and topo maps. If you're not familiar with the environment, you might have to ask strangers. So you engage the community, and everybody gets a chance to be leader. Everyone gets a chance to be led, and it builds community, trains situational awareness, and you get fit, functionally fit. All right, next time, chapter 2. Thanks very much.